Afternoon, folks. Lovely sunny day today. I had hoped to actually get out for a run today, but the uh, the odds transpired against me. Anyway, I need to do a bit of a walk around here by way of a review, which I'll also follow up with a ride-on review. And this is mainly a series of comments on what I think of Sym, um, compared to other bikes I've owned, compared to Honda, which is the last scooter and things like that. So I think the first thing to bear in mind is it's not a bad looking yoke. Now, in certain markets, this is still the current model. In other markets, it's been cosmetically updated, but it is still basically a current model, even though it's 10 years old. For a 300, it's a big old thing. I'll have to say that. Partially that's because of the styling, and if we look at the rear drive and the rear exhaust, they are quite chunky, but it all works. It's all proportioned. It's not a bad looking thing. Build quality is good, I have to say that. It's put together very well, and it's put together quite thoughtfully. Now, you've heard me talk before about Hondas and clips and things like that. I'll give you an example here. If I want to change a headlamp bulb, I need to get inside here. Now, the Honda was very similar, but the difference is screw, 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 so on. 2 screws there, and everything lifts off. There's no spring clips or anything like that. With the Honda, there were maybe these 2 screws up at the top, and then everything else was clipped together, and the clips went ding, and you'd lost clips or they broke. So from that point of view, for maintenance, it's not bad. One thing I will say, it's designed for the Asian market. It's not designed for the European market. And there are a couple of things which make me say that. Number one, there's virtually no rust protection. We're cursed in the UK with salt in our roads, so where things would be designed for the UK market would be plastic coated or powder coated. This isn't. It's just paint, and it's thin paint. The other thing is there's no oil filter. Now, the original Honda Cub, which was the original bike designed for the Asian market, had no oil filter. It had an oil strainer, and you changed the oil every 1,000 kilometers. This is the same. I don't have a problem with it. There will be one particular situation where it will cause you a problem. And funny enough, there's a guy on YouTube, Ride with Alex is the channel. He's about to do a cannonball run in the US on the I think it's the 125 Sym Jet maybe, but whatever. Which means he's doing oil changes sometimes every day. And that's the only issue with it. If you're using it for commuting and you're using it for short runs, the oil change interval isn't a problem. And in the Asian market, they're used to things like that, So look, it's the way it is. It's not a problem. Other things, well, just while I'm here, this is where I managed to get my GoPro mount, which seems to work perfectly well. I have had problems in the past with GoPros jumping off the stand, which is what this little wire lanyard is. So that's just screwed in behind that, and it's screwed on the mount there because it can't jump out of there. I found here was the best place to mount my Insta360. Now that's at the lower setting, the lowest setting there, and normally I would extend that up another. In fact, I'll pull it up here and you'll see. I would normally extend that up to there, and if I sit on the bike here and put the camera back to where I am, it's not really in my eye line, it's actually above my eye line, so it's there, and it gives a good surround view of me and the bike and the road and all the things like that. And so looking at the dash here, there's absolutely no need for a rev counter on a scooter, because the revs on a scooter will only going to be whenever it's in the right torque band. So if you're putting along, that's around 3,500 revs, and if you're giving it the welly, that's about 5,500 revs, and it's, you know, you can't blip it like an ordinary motorcycle, so there's no point. Anyway, there you go. Added expense. This I'm happy with how that worked out. Other things, it's got foldy up mirrors for car parks and what have you. I'm going to have to say, I haven't actually, since I got this, I haven't washed it. That's the condition that I got it in. And I, you know, it's not bad. It's still pretty glossy. There's no scrapes or bangs or anything like that. It very obviously hasn't been down the road. There's a wee scuff on the air cleaner down there, but yeah, it's the widest part of the bike back there. And yeah, a bit of a scuff on the exhaust, but hey, there you go. And as you can see there, it's ticking away there very, very nicely. It runs nicely. It just starts on the button every time. It doesn't appear to be a problem. Now, going back to me saying it's quite a lardy thing, it is. It's long, and compared to the SH300, it's not as agile. I think it's the best way to describe it. This is on 14 in the front and 13 on the back, and they do affect the handling. Now, it's a scooter. If you're going to try and get the knee down on the scooter, you're twat. Don't bother. It's not what it's for. And provided that you're not being a dick, it handles absolutely perfectly well. There's nothing wrong with handling it at all. I can't really comment on the tires yet because they're not run in yet. Brakes are fine, front and rear. ABS, I haven't had to use it yet. I have actually given it a good hard hike at the front end to make sure it works, and it works. So there you go. It's a well put together thing. It's, you know, mechanically it's sound. It handles reasonably well. It's very, very comfortable, and I have no complaints. You know, for what I paid for it, for the mileage, the kilometers it's on, it's 8,000 kilometers, there's 5,000 miles on it. It's very, very good value, and it'll sit at motorway speeds all day long. I'd say it'll do pretty much 160 kilometers per hour or 100 miles per hour, which is more than you ever need. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, unless you're on a track day. And I'm not going to be taking this. Although to be fair, I could probably beat some people I know on a track day on this, but there you go. Those were times gone by. I'll just a couple of little points, and they're just observations. Normally, to get into under the seat, you would turn that off and turn the key to the left. But if you're like me, the bike's running, and you want to get under the seat, little button there, under the seat, there you go. There is quite a useful little light under the seat, and it looks like it'd be quite easy to put a 12-volt power connector under there as well. I can switch it off now because it's not doing anything. And that's basically it. Monday morning, today's Saturday by the way, longest day of the year. So Monday morning I would like to be able to take this out for a short run. I'll turn around and look at me. There we go. And continue this video on Monday morning, because I think I have finally sorted out my problems within helmet audio, and this is one of the solutions here, which I'll lift up in a moment. So we'll be able to try that out, and then I'll give you an on-bike commentary. So if we look round to this, I do most of my audio recording. Sorry, ignore that for the moment. Well, my main audio recording is this. This is a Tascam DR40X, right? And I use that with a little radio mic there, which is received by that, which plugs into the Tascam. You set the Tascam for line in because the radio mics are line level, they're not mic level. Perfect. Now, for my on-bike recording, I tend to use this little Zoom H1N. Same idea. This is a little receiver for a radio mic, which I think you'll be able to see there. And the Zoom is supposed to be able to automatically detect whether it's mic level or line level input. And I've been having terrible problems with clipping and the sound being just awful. And as it turns out, it doesn't auto detect. It expects this input here to be mic level, and I've had to buy this little attenuator here, which seems to have solved that problem. I'm recording this video on it now, so if it hasn't solved the problem, you're going to have to use the video off the GoPro. So there we are. Bike's there. I'm going to bring the bike in now. Happy summer solstice, and I shall talk to you on hopefully Monday. Bye for now. The Sym on the road. On the road, she's perfectly acceptable. Now, it's a scooter. It's not a sports bike. It's not a adventure bike. It's a scooter. So it has compromises. It's a very long wheelbase, but it's got a very low centre of gravity. So she leans into the bends nicely, but it's just a wee bit ponderous. Sometimes you have to pull it over a wee bit more. But that's ordinary, that's normal, that's quite fine. In terms of performance and traffic and all that there, it's absolutely fine. It has got more than enough performance for roads like this. The brakes are good enough. Well, the brakes are actually very good. We have a front brake there because I know this round goes a bit wide. There we go. A wee damp front brake for bends like this is all you need. The ABS works, the CBS works. It hasn't got any traction control, so you need to well, you don't need to bear that in mind. I've never had a bike with traction control, so I've never ridden with it in mind. So
It is perfectly acceptable. It's very, very comfortable. Pockling along like this at, 30-ish, it's fine. It's very stable. Lovely big wide seat. It does force your legs a bit wide a bit, so I'll tend to be on the balls of my feet if I'm stopped, or on one full foot. Absolutely no complaints. Now, this was very much a recommissioning. So the scooter had sat for 7 years, and it shows. It's a bit tight, everything's a bit stiff, there's a squeak somewhere. I think it might be one of the rear shocks, I'm not sure. But every time you ride it, it loosens up a bit more. Obviously it's a bit chilly today. I don't know which way this boy's going. There's no other turn-offs around here, so he must be going down to the Monterey Road. There you go. You didn't know the Monterey Road was down here, did you? Well, there you go. Now you know something. I'll go down the Monterey Road, if it is even called the Monterey Road, but there you go. It goes to Monterey. I'll go down that road, because that brings us out on the Ballygowan Road, which is lovely and straight. And I'll be able to get her up to a good 60 or 65, so we can see what she's like then, which is perfectly acceptable here, pockling along doing her own thing. There we go. Aye, which way is he going? Oh, he's got no indicators. Oh, now you've got an indicator. Just watch the gravel here. There we go. I really could do without you being in my way, but there you go. Don't really have an opportunity to get around you here. You must be cutting grass or silage somewhere. What does anybody think of this shell grip stuff to put on bands? Basically sandpaper. I have to say the visor on this is very, very stiff. It's an HJC flip top or flip up helmet, which is my first flip up, which seems to be fine. It's a bit tight around the top of my head at the moment, so I'm going to have to adjust one of the straps. Bar that, it's fine. I'll tell you one thing, if you're buying an HJC helmet, get a size, at least a size bigger than you think. At least a size bigger than you think. They seem to be sized very small. Oh, hum-dum-de-doodly-day, this is very much fun. I'm having such a fun time behind a tractor doing 30 miles an hour. Whoopie fucking do. And I had no idea where he's going, so is he slowing down here? No. Okay, there's Monterey. know, if this boy turns left on the main road down here, it means he's gone round in a complete circle. Come on, which way are you going? Yes, he's going left. He's gone round in a complete circle. He's now on the third side of the circle. Why? If he turns up the road I think he's going to turn up, he's actually going back onto the road he was going on. Oh, no, he's turning off somewhere. Is he? No. Don't know. Oh, yeah. There we go. Ah, we can get going again. No, this is definitely slow picking up. Should pick up much better than that. Oh, I don't know, there's 70. Maybe I'm just expecting too much, but be interested to see what the wind noise is like in the commentary. You know, there's me doing 70 odds there. Now I can hear the wind noise in the helmet. It's quite loud, which means I'm probably speaking too loud. I think I'm just expecting the acceleration to be a bit better in this. There we go. I need to sit down and compare the actual performance figures. In theory, this is pretty much identical to the Honda. It feels slower. I shouldn't really compare it to the Honda all the time as well. They've got one of these fucking radar-y things along here. It doesn't take your picture, but it tries to guilt you. See, there we go. See, I'm pockling along at the right speed here. There, but see, I'm a nice boy. Definitely, oh, we've another tractor down here, whoopie-doo, or whatever it is, it's going slow. I don't think it's tractors, doing about 40. Got traffic control for some sort. Just wait and see what happens. Don't know what this is for. Whatever they're doing, they're only setting up. So, this is a run back home again. So, summary. It's a perfectly adequate scooter. For me anyway, it was good value for money because it had been sitting for so long. Bit of a story about the advert, but you don't want to hear it. I got it for very good money with, as I say, only 8,000 kilometres, 5,000 miles on it. It needs a bit more fettling just to get it back fully on the road. As I say, it handles well, it stops well, it's comfortable, it performs adequately. What more could I ask for at the money? It gives me something that lasts for a few years. It's a reasonably good looking thing, and it does everything I want it to. So from my point of view, it's grand. So there you go, that's my review. Funny, I was talking about the oil change frequency, and I said, you know, it's not a problem. But now thinking back on it, I think really for the UK market or the European market, they do need to stick a filter on it and bring it up to normal change intervals. If I was buying one of these again, I'd make damn sure I could see a service history to make sure the oil had been changed every 1,000 kilometres. The oil that came out of this when I bought it was fairly clean, and it smelled fine. There's no evidence that this has been abused. It actually, you know, it looks like it's been very well looked after. The worst thing that happened to it was sitting for 7 years. It's the worst thing you can do to a vehicle. Yeah, look, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the purchase. It does what I want it to do. Like, I'm in my mid-60s. I've had sports. In fact, I've had sports bikes apart from the next to 600. I lived in France, and all the rest of the time I've had sports bike. Well, no, I'll tell a lie. I had a Goldwing, but it was an old naked KL1000 original Goldwing, which was a lovely thing. I really enjoyed that bike. There you go. I've had sports bikes most of my life, or most of my biking career. The last bike I actually sold was a Yamaha TZR 250. And this automatic, jump on it whenever you want to go, away you go. It's exactly what I want. I couldn't be arsed with knee down anymore. That's for the young folk, and if you're doing it on the road, you shouldn't be, because you're an idiot if you are. But there you go, here we are, nearly at my house. I'll talk to you soon.